Today, we can't trust our leaders because of the integrity of the performance. We can make very fantastic policies, but because there's no stress test, they are not faithful to the process. The outcomes are always disastrous. We have somersaults of policies, and we have crises, and we are more of crisis managers than process influencers. Why? The integrity of service. So it's not about what you say that you're going to do. Do you do what you say? Imagine having a business where you don't have to chase customers, but customers are chasing you. What would happen if your products are sold even before you make an offer? Some years ago, I think it was Bentley, before Bentley was produced, it was advertised to only a few. There was no ad, but it was oversubscribed. There was no ad, they only talked about it, and it was oversubscribed. They had to return some people's money. However, it was an exotic product, but it was oversubscribed even before it was produced. Can you compare that with what is supposed to sell that is not selling as a business? Today, we'll be looking at 3 critical factors that will help you succeed in business as a Christian. The fact that we mentioned that as a Christian does not limit the boundaries of our knowledge on how to do exceptionally well in business. These principles are not limited to only the business or kingdom-minded individuals. It's applicable to you, but these are underlying principles that determine whether you will succeed in your business or not. Everything we do in life is business. It only takes you to be business-minded. And the 3 factors we're going to be talking about today, they are inevitable for anyone in business. Even if you're on a job, in order for you to grow, you will need these 3 factors. You work for someone, or you have your own private business, or you run your own private enterprise. These 3 factors are like a triangle. They are equal in their measures, their values, and their effects on business. Business that is done shabbily, of course, you don't expect a repeat patronage. If you're going to dominate in your own field of business, these 3 are inevitable. I'm sure you're already eager and curious to know what these 3 factors are. I'll mention these 3 factors, and then we take them one after the other to unpack them. The first one is discipline and faithfulness and righteousness. This triangle, discipline, faithfulness, righteousness. For short, you can call it what? DFR, right? You can call it the DFR model for business success, right? So we see discipline. It was Benjamin Disraeli that said, discipline is the soul of an army. It does not matter what you do. The iron law of success is discipline. Discipline is not doing things because they are convenient. Discipline is doing them because they are the right things to be done. They are the appropriate thing to be done. Discipline is the respect you give to your routine if you're a professional. Habits are profits, but it takes discipline to keep a habit. If you must stay consistent in order to get a goal, let's take, for instance, you have a sales target. Let's say you are a salesman whose target is to sell 10 or 10,000 products per week. It takes discipline for you to sit down and to break down the 10,000 items you have to sell per week into days. How many you have to sell per day? If you work 5 days in a week, it means you have to sell 2,000 per day. How you are going to sell 2,000 per day will take another dimension of discipline in having a script of success, which is to determine who to call, where to market, and how to find your market, right? No market, no business can succeed without sales. No market, no business can also succeed without what? The discipline of process, right? So it takes discipline to sit down. It takes discipline to know how many people, who do you have to call, and do it. Set a time to do what is to be done and do. Discipline is not a nice to have skill. It's a must have assets. Discipline is what makes training valuable. Training is one investment that turns a resource into an asset. What do I mean? You can be a resourceful person, but if you are not disciplined, you are not an asset. Because you are not dependable, you are not credible. You would never meet deadline without discipline. You will always operate time bad. Pizza. We have McDonald's pizza. They have a saying that if the pizza does not get to you in 3 minutes, we are going to pay you back and you would have an extra pizza for it. That's the mantra. That takes discipline. Amazon did not start making profit until they were disciplined about customer service. Right? The secret of Amazon's $1 trillion business success is customer service. And that takes a lot of discipline. There are a lot of people that cannot handle objections and questions from customers. And irate customers require a measure of emotional intelligence. You cannot be emotionally intelligent without discipline. You can't serve at any level without a measure of discipline. You cannot keep your budgets without discipline. A lot of people, the reason why some people are bankrupt today and in debt is because they cannot discipline their appetites and desire. It takes discipline for you not to overshoot your expense budget. Right? Like one of the presidential aspirants in Nigeria once said, you don't pay the bills of a drunkard when he's still at the bar. That takes a measure of discipline. Until you are disciplined with your budgets, you will always have an unfavorable balance. It's the same thing with business. So, business discipline shows in your goals, the goals that you set, in order for you to follow straight to the goal, follow through to your goal takes discipline. Showing up consistently takes discipline. Scripting job descriptions for those that you engage takes discipline. Discipline ties all efforts together to produce profit. So if you want to succeed in business, you cannot afford to be indisciplined. And discipline is about meeting the specification of customers, working, producing the quality that the customer requires of you. Saying you are going to be present at the place and being there at that particular place takes discipline. If you respect other people's time, it's a function of discipline. If you can supply the service within the tax time is the time that is required for the service to start and to finish. Finishing within that time is called productivity. If you're going to be fast and efficient on your job, it takes discipline. So you can see, discipline is an inevitable requirement for business success. It doesn't matter what you do, whether at a low ebb or at a sophisticated level. It takes a measure of discipline. Right? Number 2, faithfulness. Faithfulness is the fact that people get what you promised. What you said is what they get. Today, there is more that is said in packaging and branding than what is experienced in real terms. People package a lot of things, and there is what is called cloned excellence, right? Cloned excellence is make it seem like it is, but in real sense, it is not. And that's why today we have projects that are written, and you have AI detectors that will tell if it is AI written or you did it. So there has to be some element of work that is right. That's what it means to be what? Faithful. Faithfulness simply means that this is what you say. Your process, there is proof of your method. Your method works, right? The results that you say you will get is what we get. If you say this particular cleansing agent will remove stains, until it removes stains, there is no faithfulness in that business. Most of the time, partnerships are difficult. Partnerships that should bring expansion are difficult because of what? Faithfulness. People are not true to their words. Faithfulness is about integrity, right? The integrity of action, integrity of numbers. There's what is called creative accounting. As I studied accounting, so as an accountant, even though I didn't practice, there's creative accounting, where the books of accounts are meant to showcase what in real terms they are not. It's just like when you start a business and you employ your family members without a system. You would have the papers, but the money would not be there, right? Simply because there are no systems in place and because the structure that should keep other people in check. So you have the numbers, but you don't have the money. The money is not there, right? So you see, faithfulness, the one that is faithful in little, more will be added unto him. Are we together? And that's why he said, come into your rest, you faithful and obedient servant. So faithfulness is the criteria for rest in business. When people trust your business, they would repeat their patronage. To a large extent, it's going to command your market share and your share of wallet. What do I mean by market share? How much of people are going to buy from you and how many times they buy from you. That is the share of wallet. The frequency of purchase, the volume of purchase, the market share. You understand? The volume of the market is the market share. The frequency of purchase is the share of wallet, right? So you see, when people know you, there are lots of people, it's called the KLT factor. They know you, they like you, they trust you. That's the parameter for faithfulness. People can know you, but not like you. People can know you and not trust you. But people can't trust you without knowing you or liking you. So you see, trust is a big game in the world of business. Even in the corporate space, if you cannot be trusted, there's a limit to which you can be recommended or referenced. That's about faithfulness, right? Faithfulness is the fact that it fits, right? You're fit to your vacancy, right? That's the reason why if you have a result that is not yours, today a lot of things is done in many areas of endeavor. Even in school today, a lot of people just buy their degrees, right? I sat down over a board in an interview panel, and this guy showed up with a result that is practically not easy, a 2-1 in accounting. And on that board, we had about 5 people who had different accounting offers individually, apart from the one we were interviewing this guy from. This guy traveled far to attend that interview, but the simple question, the simple basic question in accounting, he could not answer, right? And when he could not answer that, it was obvious. I told him, you lost this job right from school, right? You lost this job while you were in school. You were not faithful to your studies while you were in school, and that's the reason why you are seeing the practical manifestation of your neglect in those days. So those that don't stay, you have apprentices that don't learn to term. They do not attain mastery before they free themselves. They become quacks in the market, and they are unable to deliver when customers come to them. You would attest to faithfulness in service and delivery if you call 2 mechanics and they ask you, Oga, how is your car sounding? And you tell mechanic A, it's sounding like this. He say, oh, check this, check this, check this, and you check them. Do this, do this, do this, and you did it. Say, did you hear the sound again? You say, no. You didn't have to go to his shop to fix what was wrong. But the other person, that mechanic B that you just called and told the problem, say, what's this sound? How is the sound sounding? Are you sure it's not the battery? Are you sure it's not this? Are you sure, okay, bring it to the office. You get to the office itself. For complete 30 minutes, he's still trying to find his way around them. Which of them would you call the next time you intend to service your car? This is about what? Faithfulness, integrity of service. Today, we can't trust our leaders because of the integrity of the performance. We can make very fantastic policies, but because there's no stress test, they are not faithful to the process. the outcomes are always disastrous. We have somersaults of policies, and we have crisis, and we are more of crisis managers than process influencers. Why? The integrity of service. So it's not about what you say that you're going to do. Do you do what you say? That's about faithfulness. Then number 3, the third factor and the final one is what? Righteousness. Being right. Righteousness is having the right standing. Right? He said, the Lord will bless the righteous. When you have the right audience, you have the right tools, you have the right people, you have the right model, you have the right person in place, your profit will be right. Your business will be right. Everything will go right. But imagine having the right business run by a reckless manager. What happened? The problem is not the business. The problem is what? The manager. Right? Righteousness. Righteousness, they say, exalts a nation. Why? We say sin is a reproach. Sin simply means non-compliance. If you have to cut corners, you will cut short your breakthrough. Shortcut will always cut you short. Righteousness follows through the process to become right. There is no way of going up the ladder. The simplest way is to go one step at a time, one layer after the other. That is the right way to go up. If you grow up, it's easy to stay up. But if you jump up, you might not be able to sustain your fall. So righteousness is critical. How do you become righteous? In business, in your career, simply do the right things at the right time for the right people. When the profit and the margin is right. The right people or the right audience are not scarce. You just be right. Sometimes it's not about opportunity. It's being right for that opportunity. There are opportunities that you are not right and ripe for. You are going to be the disgrace. You are going to be a disgrace in those functions. But if you are right, it's easier. The speed. No matter how fast you are running, speed is never an advantage in the wrong direction. So you see, rightness has a way of proving your process and establishing confidence and credibility, reliability in the people that you daily engage. And that will determine to a large extent if they are going to come back and going to tell other persons about you. If tuning to this channel is right, you would have benefited from the triangular model that I have just shared with you. If everything I have said is wrong about what you're presently doing, then you will not have to come back to the next channel, to the next episode. But trust me, this has added value to you in one way or the other. If you do it right, a lot of people say the right person suffers today because we live in a world where wrong things are popular. You see, the victory of lies over the truth is temporal. But if you're going to have lasting success, if you're right, you'll be sought after. Joseph was right. It didn't look like he was right. But in the end, everyone that lied about him bowed to his rightness. So as a Christian business, you don't have to manipulate the books in order to get the loan or whatever you intend to get, right? Manipulation is not part of the script, but righteousness will make everything right in his own time. He said God makes everything beautiful in his own time. When you are right, it's easy to be referenced, recommended, and referred. When Bezalel was the right person to help Moses to deliver the project that God gave to him, God was the one who recommended Bezalel to Moses. God can't recommend you and men reject you. This is the stake that righteousness holds in the hands of the believer, superior to any form of competition. Mastery is rightness at peaks, the delivery of service without the use of conscious resources. That is what is called mastery. It means you're right all the way. Things get fixed when you're there. When the right person is in the right position, people don't mourn. People don't complain. Everybody rejoices when the right person is there. But when the wrong person occupies a right position, there'll be catastrophe. And that's why in our nation today, all strategic offices, because they are political compensations, we have the people groaning. When strategic positions are political compensations, then there will be a problem. When the pulpit begins to be politically correct, there is what is called political correctness, Abi? Shebi? So there's nothing like being politically correct. It's either it is right. Some things may be correct, but not right. Not everything correct is right. But if it is right, it is correct. These are the fundamentals. They may look like righteousness is not going to bring you money. It is going to create the avenue for the amplification of your wealth, sustainability of your wealth, and the prosperity of your existence. It might not sound very, very well logical to the ears, but these are the principles that have kept those that occupy the top 1%. I tell you, there is more competition at the bottom than at the top. To get to the top, righteousness is the ladder. All that I have said might seem very counterintuitive. Yes, I know. But these are the fundamentals that determine the stability of your success. It takes a measure of skill to succeed in anything, but it will require a quantum of capacities to sustain that success. The shock is this: there is more competition at the bottom than at the top. Righteousness is that ladder to the top, and staying at the top only requires more righteousness. When you're right, things will go right. It might take you a bit of time, but you're going to last longer than those who told the lies. Lies can only sell for a while, but the truth will always sell. I know this has added value to you, and if it has, I would like you to share your takeaways in the comments, and I would want you to be in the audience again when we come the next time. My name remains Julius Afolabi. Thank you for staying with me, and God bless you.